Welcome to our daily reflection for this Sunday, March 16th. And today we hear that we cannot be enemies of the cross. And we're given at this point in our Lenten journey a sign of hope as we make our way on the Via Dolorosa with Jesus to Jerusalem and to Calvary and to the passion and death of our Lord. And so what Jesus does is he's making his way to Jerusalem in the gospel today is he's going to give his disciples, Peter, James, and John, a glimpse of his glory to fortify them and strengthen them for the hard things they are going to see, and that is the suffering of Jesus and his passion and in his dying. And so Jesus gives us this glimpse ahead to strengthen their faith, and this is what the church does. It gives us this vision of light, of the transfiguration, this great mystery of the transfiguration today, to enlighten us, to buoy us up on our Lenten journey as we walk with Christ on this way of the cross. And so as Paul says to the Philippians in Philippians 3, that we shouldn't live, therefore, as enemies of the cross, knowing that the cross is just the road and the way, it's a short-term stop on the way to the glory of Easter and the glory of the resurrection. And so we can't be afraid of the cross in light of where we're heading. We know the ultimate destination, and that's why Paul is not afraid of the cross. And he encourages us not to be, and to mark out those who so live, who are willing to have the courage and fortitude to live a cruciform discipleship, a way of denying themselves and suffering for the sake of love and for the sake of God. And we find this all the way back to the first reading, which is Abraham and the call of Abraham, because if we're going to walk by faith, the story of Abraham will be an encouragement. And so God speaks to Abraham here, and I love this story in Genesis 15. God says to Abraham, look up into the sky and count the stars if you can. And of course, it would be easy to think, well, he's looking up in the stars at night, and there's thousands of stars, millions, and he can't count them all. It's so hard, he's just counting them up. What was I at 1,001? Oh shoot, did I count that star? I got to start over. So it's kind of a difficult task, but that's not the issue for Abraham, actually. Because God says, count the stars if you can, so shall your descendants be. But later, if you listen attentively to the reading, later it says, and as the sun was about to set. So when God tells Abraham, come outside the tent and count the stars if you can, it's daylight. He can't see a single star, right? Because of the sunlight. He knows there are stars in the sky, but he can't see them. And God's saying, likewise, Abraham, you can't see the stars and you can't see your descendants. You can't see a single descendant, just like you can't see a single star. But I can. I can see your descendants, and they will be numerous. And so God is telling Abraham to trust him and to not walk by sight, but by faith. And so Abraham learns that even though he can't see the stars, they're there. And he can't see his descendants, but they will be there. And so he learns to trust God. And that is the key to faith. Faith is not in seeing, it's in believing. And that's what we're called to do. And that's Psalm 27 encourages us to walk in the light of the Lord and not be afraid. Even if we see dangers and we can't see the solution, we know that God can see the solution, and we walk by faith, right? That's the key thing. We're not discouraged by the problems and challenges, whatever they may be. And this is what Paul does, because Paul says, look, we're citizens of heaven. And so we walk on earth, and so we suffer hardships in the cross, and we can see those things. We can't see the heavenly glory yet, but persevere. So what Paul is saying to the Philippians is what God was saying to Abraham. You don't see the solution yet. You see the problem, but persevere. And then that's what Jesus says in the gospel today as he takes Peter, James, and John. And then they hear the voice from heaven. This is my chosen one, my beloved. Listen to him. So let's listen to Jesus, and he will guide us through the valley of darkness and into the glory of heaven if we but trust in him. May the Lord bless and keep you.
This daily reflection is brought to you thanks to the generous support of the Mission Circle. Join the Mission Circle to help Catholics worldwide understand, live, and share their faith. Sign up at missioncircle.org today.